Good morning, children. In life process in living organisms part 2, last period we finished with human male reproductive system, various parts and functions. Now today's lecture we will be studying human female reproductive system as well as menstrual cycle. So what are the different parts of female reproductive system? Like in last period we studied various parts of male reproductive system. Here today we will study parts of female reproductive system. So female reproductive system consists of pair of ovaries, pair of oviduct, then we have a single uterus and vagina. These are the basic parts of human female reproductive system. Now in females, pair of ovaries alternately every month they produce the egg or ovum by the process of meiosis. This egg or ovum is released every month alternatively from alternate ovary, which after coming out of the ovary, it goes into the funnel shaped part of oviduct. From that funnel shape, it is carried via oviduct towards the uterus. During this route, if reproduction occurs or if the copulation occurs, if human male deposits the sperms in the vagina of the female during this time, then the sperms travel into the oviduct where fertilization occurs. After that, once the fertilization is done, that means human male sperms which contain 23 chromosomes and ovum also contains 23 chromosomes. So this union of male and female gamete is known as fertilization, which occurs in the oviduct. After this, zygote formation takes place. Zygote formation means mixing of two nucleuses which contain half the number of chromosomes. So this zygote formation is completed and the cell now goes in the stage of mitosis and it starts dividing itself continuously to form a sphere or a ball of cells, dividing cells. This dividing cells is now called as embryo, which travels further towards the uterus. What is the function of uterus? Uterus basically provides the bed or it provides the site where the embryo gets implanted into the wall of the uterus. The inner lining or inner wall of the uterus is called as endometrium. This endometrium during this period, once the fertilization occurs or even before fertilization also, it becomes thick so that it can support the growth of that embryo. So this embryo reaches into the uterus and get implanted in it, and slowly it starts forming a structure known as placenta. This placenta helps as a connecting link between the mother and child for exchange of food and waste matter. Then last part is vagina. Vagina is elastic structure whose basic function is copulation. Basically this vagina is a site where male penis deposits the sperm, and from here the sperms travel via uterus towards the oviduct where fertilization occurs. Now here one of the interesting thing about gamete formation in females, it is slightly different than that of males. Now males start producing gametes, that means males start producing sperm after they reach the puberty. However, in case of females, the female gamete, that is ovum, is already present from birth, or rather before birth also they are present in the female child, but they remain dormant till the time of puberty. So this many, I think 2 to 4 million eggs or ovums are already present in the girl child during her birth. Once she reaches the maturity or once she reaches her puberty, alternately from every ovary, one egg at a time starts becoming mature, and then once it becomes mature, it is released from the ovary and then it is taken via the funnel shaped part of oviduct and the process continues. So this production of egg in female continues from puberty till the age of 45 to 50. After that, females cannot produce egg, or the egg's quality, it starts declining after the age of 45. So basically the period when the female stops producing the egg is known as menopause, and the first time when they produce the egg is known as menarche. So this was all about female reproductive system. We had seen parts of female reproductive system. We studied about fertilization, and we also studied about gamete formation and how it is different than males. Now the next part, page number 30, is entirely cancelled this year. So we will directly move on to menstrual cycle. Now what is menstrual cycle? Once the girl reaches the puberty, it can range from age of 10 to 12 or 13 or 14 also. It depends on heredity, as well as it depends on the climatic conditions also. So basically between the age of 10 to 14 age, female attains the puberty and starts her menstrual cycle. Now this menstrual cycle is controlled by various hormones, a few of which are released from pituitary that we studied last year, and a few are released from ovary. So the control of menstrual cycle is on four main hormones, which are FSH, that is follicle stimulating hormone, LH, that is luteinizing hormone, we have progesterone, and we have estrogen. These four hormones mostly control the menstrual cycle. Now menstrual cycle is nothing but development of follicle to form Graafian follicle, from which the egg is released every month. The uterus is prepared for possible implantation of embryo at all it occurs, and if the fertilization does not occur, then the uterus has to shed off all this lining of the endometrium, or the inner wall of the uterus, which was prepared for the embryo to get implanted at all if fertilization occurs. So for that the bedding should be prepared. But if fertilization does not occur, then this entire arrangement is shed off every month. So this continuous process which occurs every month in human females during her reproductive age, it is called as menstrual cycle. It is cyclic. It continues every month. In short, every month, that is about 28 days, this cycle continues. The egg starts developing in a follicle. That follicle develops till the day of 14th. On 14th day, the wall of the ovary ruptures and the egg or ovum is released. This released ovum, as I mentioned earlier, it enters into the oviduct, and from where it travels. So during this process there are various hormonal changes which are occurring that we are going to study one by one. So you can see in the figure if you see on page number 3.21, there are three parts. The uppermost part is pituitary gland, the middle part is follicle which is inside the ovary. So what changes are occurring in the ovary can be seen in the middle part, and the last part is the lining or endometrial wall of the uterus. So the structure which looks like a slope, that is actually the wall of uterus, and at the bottom you can see the number of days. So as the days pass, the lining of the uterus becomes thicker and thicker. On 14th day, if you see in the middle, the follicle has ruptured and the ovum is being released. So how this occur, one by one we will study in the next lecture. Now let's just revise. We have today studied completely about female reproductive system. The parts of female reproductive system are ovary, oviduct, then we have uterus and vagina. The functions, the fertilization and gamete formation, all these things we studied today, as well as I have also briefed you about what is menstrual cycle and how in different stages it works, like what changes occur in pituitary gland, what changes occur in the ovary, that means the development of follicle inside the ovary, and what are the changes in the internal lining or endometrial wall of the uterus. The next period I will explain you in detail about menstrual cycle, and only the last part that will remain is reproduction and modern technology and reproductive health. These three things, that is menstrual cycle, reproduction and modern technology, and reproductive health, most probably by today evening I will post the next part of this video, or else the next day I will post it. Please watch it and start studying. Your semester exam is very close.